news. How are you guys today? Good to see you. I thought I would take a second before I start drawing to just to go over to my studio bookshelf and maybe pull something out from the bookshelves that I was looking at just a moment ago. Um, this is these are some of my sketchbooks. If you can see, it's hard for me to, let me turn it around. These are some of my sketchbooks up here over the years. These are all books that I've collected or read over my life, some of them quite old from my early years. But I wanted to pull, I just randomly, almost randomly pulled this one out because it was a favorite book of mine in college. Hi, Bill. Hi, Peter. Peter's in Seattle. How are the fires in Seattle? Good. I hope things are better there. So I was really obsessed with political cartoons and art of social conscience back when I was in college, and more often this kind of thing than political cartoons. And this book, I don't know if it's still available, but it talks about art of social conscience. A lot of different people. One of my favorites was Ben Shahn. If you don't know him, Shahn. He was not a political cartoonist, but somebody who did art like this, commenting on social justice issues that he felt were important to know about. He was very left-leaning, and he did some drawings about Sacco and Vanzetti. This is William Groper. Let's see the Sacco and Vanzetti. There's another Ben Shahn one. Looking for the Sacco and Vanzetti drawings. There. This is one that you may have seen about Sacco and Vanzetti, two people that were accused of espionage. I don't remember the details, but Bill is asking, are those want and ignorance on the cover? I don't know. Let's see if it says anything about the cover. Toulouse. Back in the day when they didn't. Oh, look, I underlined something. For too long, the history of modern art has been couched in an academic system, methodical and formalistic survey or evolution in style of neoclassicism or romanticism to realism, impressionism, and on and on. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to go back and read this again, but I was studying art. I'm talking about Daumier, you may have heard of Goya. It's really fascinating to see how artists have used their work to bring light to issues that are important to them. Let's see who else is in here. Anybody else here? Like I said, it's Liza Donnelly. I'm a cartoonist and writer for a lot of publications and a lot of news outlets, New Yorker among them. I've been there a long time, and other places. And now, as well as those, I'm I joined HAPS News as a verified journalist, and you can support me by going to my page and supporting me, being a patron, being a donor. But anyway, I'm here to draw about the news today, as usual, and there's a lot of news in the last 24 hours, if you were paying attention to the news, and maybe you weren't, and that's okay. It's probably healthy to not pay attention to the news. Let me turn you around and I'll start drawing. So where's my pen? There's my pen, and here's my ink. So New York Times came out with is this in the frame? With an article about Trump and his tax returns, or his financial dealings over the past 20 years or so. No, 20 years. Longer than that. Over the past, his adult life, really, and Trump's adult life. And let me read the headline. Trump's taxes show chronic losses and years of tax avoidance. He kept saying he would reveal his taxes, but that he was under audit and that he couldn't. I think he's just avoiding showing us his taxes because there's a lot of bad stuff in there. He only paid taxes like $750 last year, I think. $750, and he lost a lot of money in many of his ventures. I'm reading his niece's book, Mary Trump's book, and she's actually right now at the part where she's talking about that, how his grandfather, her grandfather, his father, Trump's father, was a developer in New York and was successful at what he did. Early on in his career, his business, Trump Enterprises, I don't know how or if he was corrupt, but when he sort of had Donald at the helm, Donald took the business into Manhattan to develop buildings and enterprises like that, and he went down to build casinos in Atlantic City. Can you see what I'm drawing? Bill, thank you. Bill says, thanks for sharing your life and art with us. Hi, Pablo from LA. Have the skies cleared a little bit? So Trump has been a facade all his life, from what I can tell, from reading Mary Trump's book and now what we're seeing in the New York Times, that it's all about appearing and saying that you're big and great, and in fact, you're not. It's just people believe you. I don't know why, but people have believed him over the years that he was a millionaire, that he was. Oops, there's So this is my attempt at pointing out that he's standing behind a wooden facade. That's what these money dealings are showing us, that he was not the deal maker. In fact, from reading the book, his father was the deal maker, and Trump was just. Am I spelling that right? Trump was the face of Trump Enterprises. That he was not a savvy businessman. Oops. Biz. Trump has not paid taxes very much. He paid, as I said, $750 a couple of years, which is much less than most Americans have to pay. If you just joined us, it's Liza Draws. I am live drawing something in the news. New York Times. Came out with an article after a lot of research. It's a very long article. I haven't read the whole thing yet, but a very long article about Trump and his taxes. Records obtained by the Times after years of secrecy. The Times has obtained tax returns data for President Trump extending over more than 2 decades. It tells, 2 decades. It tells a story fundamentally different from the one he's sold to the public. Mr. Trump's finances are under stress, beset by hundreds of millions in debt coming due with an IRS audit that cost him over $100 million. He paid $750 in federal income taxes in 2016 and nothing at all in 10 of the prior 15 years, largely because he lost so much money. So, let's see. Doesn't quite work as a facade, but it sort of does. And I'm not going to color it in because it's still so wet. But he sold himself as a celebrity, genius, deal maker, savvy businessman, and he's not. But he's good at selling himself because a lot of people bought it. So let's see what you guys are saying. Let's see. Listening to you, looking at what you guys are saying. If you just joined us, it's Liza Donnelly. I'm a cartoonist and writer, and I'm reporting live drawing from my studio in New York for HAPS News. Abdullah says Trump paid less taxes than his drones. His supporters, he says. A new fire, Pablo says, a new fire just started in Napa. Yes, I read about that. Wine country in California is still being besieged by fires. Euro Maestro just followed me. Hello, Euro Maestro. From Paris, my second favorite city in the world after New York. Thank you, Peter, says this is point on point. A very stable genius, as Trump thinks he is. 10 years where he paid no taxes. You're right. Thank you, Sovi. What a great cartoon. I appreciate it. Also, he had a $72 million tax refund, says Euro Maestro. Wow. He was billed. I had lived in New York when he was doing real estate, and I remember he was sort of a joke for many people. New Yorkers knew, a lot of us knew what he was up to. Let's see, Jeremy Gordon. Hi, Jeremy, friend of mine from high school. He says, I'd love to see a cartoon with Trump as the marionette and his Russian handlers as the money big shots. Yep. Hi, Mark from LA. All right, I'm going to turn you around and say goodbye. I'll paint this later, and you'll see the finished product on social media. So thanks for joining me. It's been a pleasure, and I appreciate you stopping by to see what I'm doing, live drawing something in the news or something that we're all talking about and thinking about. You may not agree with me, but we can talk about it. So read the article in the New York Times. It's fascinating about Trump and his finances, and hope to see you guys tomorrow. I'll be here same time, maybe a little later tomorrow, like 5:30 tomorrow, but see you again tomorrow. And thanks for joining me once again. Liza